most people die at 25 but don't get buried till they're 80. And I've seen this saying on the internet a couple times now, and I completely agree with it because you either go like one or two ways. Like you either go two ways. Like you either keep getting better and you keep improving, or like you just kind of like fall off a little bit and you fall off and you aren't working out anymore. You're not learning. Like you kind of get like a beer gut, belly, whatever. You're out every weekend, and I am at like kind of a crossroads right now, and I just don't want that to be me. Like I don't want to fall into this like mediocre, like boring life of just like doing the repetitive shit, not learning anymore, not thinking about what I'm doing, and I'm not great at explaining this real well. I'm still getting better with this talking shit, but it seems to me like what I'm observing is like I can already see it in people at like my age. Like you can already kind of tell with some people that they're already kind of falling off, or they're getting heavy, or they're kind of starting to get grumpy a little bit, and they're getting stubborn, grumpy. Especially with like politics too, people start kind of like I know people my age like complaining about like politics in the world and how it is, and it's like, damn, bro, like you're 25 years old, you got this whole life ahead of you, and you're like kind of just grumpy and miserable all the time. And I don't quite agree with it. I know people like that in my life personally, and it's like it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy because I get this way. Like I'll get kind of grumpy and upset, but there's a lot more to life than just like the conflicts going on in the world, and that in the news can just bring you down. And that's, I think, another reason why, because like people with social media and the news, like we're consuming more news than like the previous generations. Like I don't care what anyone says, like we're consuming so much more news, and it's just making us, I think, feel worse in a way. And I think that plays in the fact of like people just kind of falling off because they start worrying about shit that's happening halfway across the world and on their own selves. And a lot of people, I feel like, get scared, or maybe they get like they got to get this stable job, or they got to do this or that to like succeed. When I mean, there's obviously you need like a job to make money, but a lot of people, they'll just fall in the trap of like just getting really comfortable. Maybe like they end up being with someone that they shouldn't be with, that's not right for them, but they just want to be in a relationship, or they have to follow like societal standards, or like do this and that and you'll be good, or follow like the safe path. And this has been hard for me too, because like I get anxious, like I don't know what I want to do, and I'm just trying different shit out, like this channel, and seeing what works for me. And I want to just test things when I'm young still. But yeah, it's hard. I'm not saying it's definitely not easy for anyone, especially now like our generation, Gen Z, is going through it. But that doesn't mean you should lose your spirit and become negative and drink every weekend and just like not do anything and play video games all day. And there's so much more to life out there, and you can always keep improving. You can always change. You could always get more fit. You could always, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you stop playing sports. Like I mentioned this in my other video, that doesn't mean you stop working out. A lot of people, I think, they stop playing sports after like the age of 25 in high school or college, like I mentioned in my other video, and they just get lazy, they get fat, they get a beer belly. An example I can think of, like I always think of like Homer Simpson, where like he was young and fit, but then he gets older and he's like just like drinking beer all the time, like drunk, or like Peter Griffin or some shit, like the stereotypical like man that ages and like just kind of loses his energy, he loses his physical like activity, and he doesn't try as much anymore. And I just don't want that to be me. I don't want to fall into like a really bad rut and I get scared. I don't think I will. I think I'll be fine, but I just get nervous about it cuz like I don't know what the future holds. And it being 25, I feel like I'm at this point like where it's like holy shit, like what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to like just do what I want? I just want to be able to do what I want, man. Like I just want to not be confined to anything. And I think that's the best version of like success. My version of success is just kind of just doing what you want and keeping your values and keeping your spirit in you. I think that's like what really winning in life is not really losing yourself and becoming a shell of your former self. And I think that you can keep that, and it takes time, and it takes trying out different things and seeing what you like, what you don't like. But I just don't want to be one of these people that just kind of gives up and is just going with the flow and has a repetitive day every single day, repetitive routine. They're not who they used to be. They just don't got that kid spirit in them anymore. And I think a lot of people would be able to relate to this video talking about, and I've seen it a couple times on the internet, so I probably heard it like 4 or 5 times, but it's good to just keep spreading the word and letting other people know that you don't have to die at 25. You don't have to just like settle down and conform to this normal life. You can do extraordinary things, and you could be something, and that's what I'm trying to be, and probably what whoever's watching this video, if you're this far into the video of me rambling. But yeah, man, just keep pushing through, and whatever you do, find your joy, find your bliss, go with it, roll with it, man. See what sticks, see what doesn't. Obviously, like, have work. Obviously, you need to have a job to like make money and pay the bills. I'm not saying like don't just like stay at home and like just make videos all day, but a lot of people do definitely like kind of start losing themselves at this age. I feel like a lot of people they do start kind of like just they're not active anymore. They're just watching TV all the time. They're not learning anymore. They kind of get stuck in their old in their ways, and they never change for the next like 40 years or until they die. And I don't want that to be me, and I don't want that to be you guys either. So I just want to keep leveling up in life and being the who I know I can be. And I think in this generation we are kind of beginning to understand that. I think Gen Z obviously like takes care of itself more. Like we go to the gym more, we're more active, we do more things than the previous generation. So I think that is a huge plus and a huge step in the right direction, because what I've observed in older generations is they don't, I think, value like fitness as much. They don't value like hobbies as much. They just kind of go to work and don't do anything else. At least for me, I would say maybe like other past generations. Like I'm talking about like the boomers and like the, what is it? Boomers, and then the generation after that, I keep forgetting. But it seems like Gen Z, like the younger people, obviously like value authenticity. They value being fit. They value being like the better version of themselves, rather than trying to make like some other place money, or just constantly having the same monotonous schedule and routine every single day. So if you're watching this, don't give up and keep that energy lit. See ya.